Welcome to Wandering Blerds, coming to you from the city that never sleeps in the deep, deep, deep BKLYN.
No doubt.
Brooklyn.
Down.
Brought to you by the Gifted Sounds Network. Wandering Blerds is the show that lets those on the go know just where to go when they wander the big blue marble. I'm Mickey T.
And I'm Mickey B.
Okay, this week we are wandering to FlameCon in Brooklyn, New York, a very blurred-friendly destination. But before we proceed, for those who aren't familiar with the term, tell us, Mickey, what's a blurd?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, you know that neighborhood black kid who is wearing those really thick glasses or those pocket protectors that are like absolutely stained with pen ink and all that jazz.
Yes.
No, that's not necessarily what a blurred is. Okay, just because they have the accoutrements of the stereotypical nerd doesn't mean that they are one. But yes, a nerd that is black, so it's a black nerd. Blurred. We like to have fun with the English language, right, as human beings, and with language in general, and we just made that term up because we can.
We can, and before we know it, it'll be in the dictionary.
If it's not already, I mean, bootylicious is, woke is. Blurred is going to be in the dictionary.
Blurred is.
Let's make it happen.
It's going to have its moment. It's going to have its day in the sun.
It is.
So, now you don't have to show your black card to listen to the show, but, you know, it helps.
It helps. You know, some of the references that we bring up might go over the heads of some. But you know what? That's why you're listening, right? You're curious. You want to learn about people who may or may not be like you. And that's cool. That's what's up. Welcome.
In your neighborhood.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about one of the cool places to travel to New York City. We went to the 3rd annual FlameCon, which is a convention that is focused on celebrating the nerddom of the LGBTQIA community. For sure, you don't have to be same gender loving or any of that jazz and like pretty much non-straight. You don't have to be that. You can be an ally, a fan, an accomplice, right? Someone who is willing to fight for the rights of every human being, not just some. That's what an accomplice is. Yeah, it's for anyone and anyone who really loves diversity in all its shades, all its forms, all its colors, all its ways. But for sure, it's a safe space focused on the LGBTQ person.
And let's face it, not all blurds are straight identify or cisgender.
True. Right. They're just being.
But this is a blurred-tastic event, and so we are here. And we will be taking you to more blurred-tastic events, not just places, but events.
Oh, for sure. And it's definitely blurred-tastic because blurs were all up and through that piece. We showed up and we showed out, and it was beautiful. You'll see it in our footage.
I guess the first thing that is important about this particular event is that we really got a chance to talk about, like, it was a safe space for a lot of people. And that's what makes it different from some of the other cons. I know that we will soon have Comic-Con and I believe it's another week here. And so we thought this was germane for those that kind of want to get their con on, but want to feel a little bit more included. And so hear what some of our friends had to say about FlameCon as a safe space.
I'm Kaylin, and I'm here because I like doing nerdy things and going out every once in a while.
Okay.
I'm Lay, and I'm here because I'm a dweeb. I need to get outside more.
Okay.
I'm Ishoke. I'm one of the hosts of the Cheers and Queers podcast, and I'm here because I fucking love cosplay, and I'm cosplaying today.
Okay. So what makes this space unique here at FlameCon?
I mean, it's a place where I can kind of be LGBT and just kind of out there. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, I don't really have to worry about like being like the odd man out or the odd girl out, whatever. Mm-hmm. I am at the day, so it's nice to be kind of in an inclusive area.
Yeah, it's the same here, where it's like it's not like I have to divide like my queer self and then my nerd self. Instead, they come into a nice little blend, and then as a result, I feel more like myself in a way.
Yeah, definitely want to piggyback off of that. Like, it allows me to like blend all the different pieces of me, like the aspects of my nerd identity and the aspects of my queer identity, and like, you know, challenging folks in this space to think about the way they can be even more inclusive. The thing that feedback I give them all the time is it's real white in here, y'all. So what are you gonna do to fix that? And like my presence, like physically reminds them that that's a thing.
So, as Wandering Blerds, we're trying to bring the world to blerds out there. Why would a blerd want to come to an event like this? Is it unique among cons? Because I'm guessing that you guys do go to other cons. So, if you could explain like what other cons you've been to and why you particularly like what is different about this one? Like, yeah, not to be too redundant.
I mean, this is Caitlin, by the way. This actually is my first con I've been to.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is kind of just me experiencing this for the first time. So I wouldn't know what makes other cons themselves,
Yeah.
but like I felt like this was the first one I actually found interest in.
Yeah.
Because it's something where I feel like there's something I can actually participate in and relate to.
Lay, and my first con as well, and the fact that I'm a blerd is kind of the reason why it's my first con, because usually I'd be scared to go anywhere because I never see people like me going to a con. Never see people like me on the train in costume and they're not scared. And I went to this one because I'm like, I feel like maybe someday somebody's gonna see all these wonderful people having the same amount of fun as everybody else, and then they'll be more encouraged to join in on the fun, and then blerds and nerds and everybody's happy in the end.
So I go to a lot of cons. This is the Showcase. I usually average about a con a month at this point. And what's really unique about this con is that it really does focus on queer artists and queer creators, and it allows folks to make very great choices about who they get to spend their money on, where it is that they're getting their content from, learning about new people, getting to know new folks who like love the same things as them. So like it's really fun for me to like see a bunch of like queer folks talking about like queering Shakespeare, right? Or queering Sherlock Holmes or queering Star Trek, right? The ways that like we examine things through a queer lens all together is really great because it happens here.
Okay, so what drew the both of you to this event?
I heard about this from a lot of like fellow cosplayers, and you know, it being like an LGBT very inclusive convention, I definitely had to check it out. And this is like my second year, and my first year during a table.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And what about you?
I'm the model, so I kind of follow her wherever she goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. So that's what drew you here.
Yeah.
So here's the question: you're both people of color. Mm-hmm. And do you find have you ever been to any other conventions?
Any what? I'm sorry?
Any other conventions?
Yeah, like it's a little weird because sometimes it's like, especially because we dress up, some people like it's like, oh, it's a person of color dressing as most likely a non-person of color character. Uh-huh. A lot of times they like it. Other times they're very what's the word? They're very too true to the character, uh-huh, that it becomes like they get upset, about it. But that's why this con, everyone's just like, it's fine,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what about you, Paul?
Well, we've done a lot of cons, and like she said, some people are indifferent, some people are just like, oh, this is awesome, like we did Disney Villains a few years ago, and I was Gaston. And one girl even said it, Black Ston, I love you.
Yes.
That's cool. That's cool. So why would you recommend people come to this con?
Well, if you're looking for a more inclusive crowd, definitely come here.
What about you?
Yeah, definitely it's the inclusion of everyone. It's also it is technically more of like a safe space. So, and there's so many people like different genders. You know, like I said, it's so different. People in different like body types, and you can see like they're more comfortable. You know. Here dressing a specific way without having to be laughed at, because at other cons, if you're on a heavier side, there are some people who will point you out and say very horrible mean things like you can't cosplay as this because you're a certain size, you have to be this size, whereas here, like, as long as your costume looks good, they don't care about the size of your body. They don't care about size of your body. They don't care the color of your skin. You look good, and that's really what it's about. Yeah.
I am Stefan. My name is spelled Stephon.
Okay.
And Ibrahim, Ibrahim.
Okay. And our next question is, I see that you're wonderfully costumed. Who are you representing?
I am representing one of the Indigo Lanterns. It's the emotion of compassion in the DC comic universe. These are superheroes that usually have the ability to use all of the emotions: life, death, will, fear, rage, will, and hope, and love. So I chose compassion because I love purple, and also I love what they represent as a core.
I am 90s Jubilee. One of my favorite TV shows is the X-Men from the 90s. Is actually, I can say, probably my first like geeky show I would watch as a kid. I used to watch it with my parents, and when I used to do Saturday morning cartoons, I used to wake up in the morning to watch cartoons. Of course, my favorite was Storm and her soliloquies, but Jubilee and her like young playfulness, and how everyone kind of took her under her wing, especially Storm and Wolverine, if you watch the show.
Yeah.
And she was really my favorite because outside of Storm, she was the only other ethnic character, pretty much. Yeah, I was trying to think. Yeah, she's pretty much only other ethnic character of that time. So I loved her, and she was playful and young, and she wore bright colors, like pink, yellow, and blue, and like she did fireworks. Like her powers were so fun. That's why I love her.
And actually also her powers were see if I can say this, ethnocentric in their nature, because she's Chinese American, and when you think of fireworks, think of like a lot of the characters that were made in Marvel Universe from the X-Men have some sort of connection to like their backgrounds as we think about them. Like when you think about Storm, and you think about Africa, and you think about the elements, think about nature and Mother Nature and the cradle of life. Where did it start? It started in Africa. But she was originally actually two characters. Sorry, I'm rambling about history and comics.
No, we're Wandering Blerds, so rambling is something we're very familiar with. We ramble, we wander, we blurred. Brings me to my next question. What led you to wander here today? I don't know how many cons you go to, but of all the cons, why is this one special, and why did you come?
Two reasons. One, because it's a gay Comic-Con, so I feel very comfortable and open with either gender bending by last year when we were female characters as males, and yet we weren't doing drag. We were just male, like masculinizing it, or gender bend, gender fucked, queer. And then this year, I'm wearing an outfit that is a bit between the line. It is a loincloth. It's a bit of a skirt, but it goes with how I feel of expressing the character in my own cosplay. And the other reason was to support two of my artist friends, Scott Braddock and David Bell. They're both amazing artists, and they both have tables, and it's doing well, so I had to come for those reasons. Lucky Sanford, yes. Sorry, I forgot.
And Ibrahim?
Also, like I said, to support our artist friends, this is our second year doing FlameCon. And to not only be a blerd, but to be a gay blerd. It's all about representation and visibility. And here, like you said, you can be yourselves, because you do the big cons. This is probably my second year really getting the cons, and I'm really diving deep into cosplay, and I'm about to buy a sewing machine. I'm really planning to get deep into cons. But this one's, I feel like, the one I can have the most fun at, because even though I started gender bending with Halloween, and actually for his birthday we threw him a superhero birthday party. I'm not gonna say the age, he's old. And I did a gender bend Storm. And that was my first gender bend, and I have a list of gender bend characters that I want to do. So I've done Storm, I've done Harlequin, Sailor V. Today was Jubilee. Tomorrow I'm going to be a gender bend Zatanna. So I have like a whole list. In addition to, so I have two big cosplay projects personal. I plan gender bend like all my favorite strong feminine characters, as well as to do classic black superheroes. So I have a whole list. Black Panther, of course, being at the top of the list, even way before the movie.
Obsession, because it's an obsession.
But yeah, so so cons and stuff is about to be an integral part of my life. And Flame Cons, since this honestly was it was the first con I ever went to.
Yes.
So it's gonna have a special place, regardless of how big or small it will be. I still feel at home and to have fun, and it's pretty comfortable.
What are the safe spaces you feel as, for Blerds, for LGBTQ blurred life?
I feel like we're still finding them. I think they're still being developed. I mean, yes, you could say there are clubs. There's moments when we have them. One of my friends, Tony Ray, he's a really well-known cosplayer, but he tries to create safe spaces or events on Facebook for Blerds to come and congregate, whether it's Pokemon, whether it's anime, whether it's cosplay, just to create that kind of space. I think that this is the perfect kind of space for that, to bring that safety aspect of we can wear our costume and be who we are. I think that as a blurred, and we talk about color and culture, I think we're still finding that representation, because it still looks like a chocolate chip cookie to me when I look in that room. You have a beautiful base of fair skin and lighter colors, but when you look at ethnicity and race and even trans, I'm looking for the trans, the trans individuals in there may be there, but I it's a safe space for us. But are you saying this is boldly showing that it's accepting? I think we're still finding that place.
Okay, what about you, Ibrahim? Where are the safe spaces that you found, virtual or physical?
No, honestly, the old adage, birds will feather flock together. I find the safe spaces amongst my group of friends, and every year it gets bigger and bigger. And I feel honestly, I have friends who host game nights, so we dress up and we play. We have theme nights, whether it's comic books or 90s, things like that. And to me, honestly, that's safe space. Safe spaces don't have to be big venues and club places. But in the end, we do have events like this that we have to support and have to recognize. So I feel safe spaces is kind of what you make it, but also there's a difference between space and visible spaces, because this is a visible safe space where it's known, where we're out in the public, and then safe spaces with your friends. So honestly, I feel like it's what you make it. Because honestly, sometimes I don't need hundreds of people to feel comfortable. If I'm with my group of friends and we all like the same thing or the same theme, because we all like we did a Marvel versus DC party, and it was his biggest argument over how strong Storm is. Oh, and that was hilarious. And I just sat there with my drink and sitting pretty. But even though that was an argument, it wasn't a negative environment.
Right,
at the end of the day, we laughed, we had fun, and it's all about camaraderie.
Cool. So last but not least, any Instagram feeds that we should be posting your pictures to and letting you know when our podcast comes out? Any?
My Instagram is Fashion Enigma.
Okay.
Because I'm an enigma and you never know what you're going to get next.
My Instagram is Broadway Guru. I am a thespian. I'm an actor, a writer, a director. Thespian. I said the word right. Thanks. I educate by day. I'm an educator. That's my day job, which I'm very passionate about and have been doing for a long time. But my true passion is the theater, is the stage. And so I'm with Broadway Guru, I'm able to show that in my work with Rooted Theater Company that is budding here in Brooklyn.
Now, Mickey, I don't know. I was kind of the first thing that really kind of had a huge impact on me coming into FlameCon was the huge group of costume people. They were representing, what was it, Adventure Zone podcast.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Had you ever heard of Adventure Zone before you went there?
Not at all. I was struck. I was like, what in the hell is going on? Oh my God, so many colors, so many So many characters, so much yelling. Oh my gosh.
A lot of
They were
yelling.
excited to be with each other. Holy cow.
stoked.
Oh my gosh.
They were costumed. They were stoked. They were in the moment.
We heard nerds yelping. Okay.
Yes.
They were so happy.
Yes, pointing and yelping and just overall celebrating. And it's a podcast. We talked to Alexandra Abeni, and she explained exactly what this is.
It's a bunch of dudes playing D&D and making a lot of funny jokes, but also a story that will make you cry almost every time.
And you all have a pretty big contingency here. Like, where do you know where it's produced out of, or are you guys just all converging here for this event?
I mean, it's kind of in the LGBT community, it's kind of beloved because it's so inclusive without
Making a big deal.
Without making a big deal, it's just perfect, and it's just a bunch of guys making a D&D podcast, and it's amazing, and we all love fantasy stuff, and we all love these brothers that make this podcast.
So when we con out, we like to purchase lots of different things that we find cute or informative, or we just want to support an artist or
see something new.
Or see something new, and we want to buy some stuff. Yeah, so we have some of the different vendors that we want to mention. Should I start?
Yeah.
Okay.
You start with yours. Your favorite booths and vendors and things.
Okay, cool. Well, I bought this really cute hot pink backgrounded painting of Billy Idol. It was I want to say 8.5 by 12 inches. Big, and it's up on my makeup box. It's propped up on my makeup box on my dresser. I think it's so cute. The table shop Night Owl Designs. So Night Owl Designs, they make paintings. Well, I believe it's not a they. It's just one person. I'm not sure of their pronouns, so I am going to refer to them as they. I hope they don't mind. I will provide a link for you to find out who this person is and how you can look at their stuff yourself. But they made jewelry, these really funky earrings. And like I said, I bought this really kick-ass painting that we're going to share a picture of because it's so cute. And the buttons and all kinds of nerdy things. It was a really cute table, really awesome artist, and it was a pleasure looking at their art and getting to patron them. How about you, Mickey? Can you think of one of the tables that you want to share with us?
Oh, wow. I've got a few.
I know that there's a lot, so
There's a few.
can you narrow it down to one for now?
Narrow it down to a few.
Okay. That's fair.
So let's see. I guess the first table that really kind of drew my attention, and well, not really drew my attention because everything draws my attention. But the first one that it resonated with me, I'll put it that way, in a deep way, was Online SOS. And that is an organization that is one of only 2 in the world that specializes in providing online harassment help to people. And I spoke with one of the co-founders. Her name is Samantha Silverberg, and she is actually she has her master's in social work. She's a clinician. So she can speak to someone, if you're being harassed. She not only can give you resources, but she can kind of talk to you about finding a clinician to talk to, if not herself. And she's co-founded this with an attorney who can tell you what your legal resources are on, at your disposal to handle that. So I think that's a really great resource. I think most nerds and blerds in general have some kind of experience with being harassed in one way or another. It's one of the things that unites blerds, and nerddom, is persecution by others for our absolute fabulousness
During our formative years, no less.
Right. So
Usually.
if you still have issues, or if issues arise where you're being harassed, you can look them up at onlinesosnetwork.org.
Reminds me of those two women who's like making the social media rounds right now. They're white women. I believe one of them is queer, and the other one I'm not sure. But they argue with white supremacists on behalf of people of color.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
I know, right? And they provide the service free of charge. They're volunteers.
Oh,
I know. I mean, how phenomenal is that?
phenomenal and tiring.
And tiring. But you know what? They take breaks and they take care of themselves. They do the work for like, I think 4 hours a day or a week. No, it can't be a day because that's like a job. But a week or so. If I find that information, I'm going to post that as well.
Right. Great. The other table that I really thought was fantastically awesome was Dragon Fruit. The Dragon Fruit app is a dating app for geeks. The founder and his partner were both there. And what I thought was really interesting about this is that they match you with your geek love by interest. And they have something that's called Geekdar that allows other users to, like, it allows the users to find each other at cons. So if you're coming lonely to a con and you're like, everybody's met, everybody has somebody but me, you can go on their app and find someone. So the last couple, I guess I will mention are, I liked Kyle's Bed and Breakfast. That one spoke to me because pancakes. So the thing about the Kyle's Bed, that's a comic. And it's about a guy named Kyle who owns a bed and breakfast, and he has this multicultural cast of friends, and he's a great chef. So he makes pancakes, and I believe it's set in Long Island. Either it's set in Long Island or Kyle is from Long Island, but just all the comics with the pictures of the fall leaves and the people, you know, the hot guys, and they're all in their like, well, not all of them were in plaid, but yeah, I like that. It spoke to me. The pancake spoke to me. The autumn leaves spoke to me, as did like just the whole aesthetic.
The art must have been really nice, huh?
It was.
Cool,
It made
cool.
me hungry.
Shout out to the illustrator.
Yes, Greg Fox, he's the
Inducing hunger
creator.
everywhere.
Yeah, and I just thought that was neat. Oh yeah, Net TV Now, and that was an all web series. So it's a network where they do nothing but highlight web series, and the founder of that is Michelle Mycor. So if you're out there getting your nerd blurred on, making a web series, this would be the place to put it.
Okay. Wow, very cool.
Yeah.
So they're showcasing talent at a convention that's showcasing talent.
Right, exactly.
Oh, well, I have another one that I really want to plug because it's a place that we're actually going to visit. We're going to take you guys with us and we're going to show you the amazing place that is Easton Mountain. It's this retreat that is primarily for men who identify as gay, to provide a safe space for them. It's in a beautiful location upstate New York. And yeah, so stay tuned for that episode because we're going to bring you there and we're going to talk to some of the organizers and the event coordinators and staff who are there, and also the current coordinator for the Nerdvana retreat. So for all the gay dudes that are listening right now, if you guys just want to nerd out somewhere far away from where you live and just have some sanctuary with your fellow gay men, who the hell wouldn't want to? That sounds like fun, right? If I was a gay dude, yeah. I'm not a gay dude and I still want to go. But yeah, check out Easton Mountain, EASTON Mountain. Yeah, we're gonna talk more about that in the future. Stay tuned.
I don't know. Was there anything else that kind of like stuck out to you as being particularly unique about this con that help make it a really inviting, safe space.
Yes, very much. Something that we noticed right away, actually, when we went into the press room, we were handed choices for pronoun tags. They were pronoun stickers that we put on our shirts that lets everyone know who's near us, who wants to interact with us, what pronouns we went by, which I found so touching because that was really considerate for people who are not cisgender or who are just not subscribed to societal norms and societal notions of what one person should identify as. Like, no, we determine who we are in the world. And if other people want to respect us and understand us, they will acknowledge us as we want to be acknowledged. And so stickers like that really help out. And it's such a small gesture,
Right.
but it matters a lot.
One of the things that I noticed when we had our discussion off mic with Ibrahim and Stefan was, the fact that I saw so few people wearing their tags because, well, you've got these lovely tags and they make it so that, you can respect people and make them feel included. But one of the things that Ibrahim pointed out was that, they get in the way of your costume. They're stickers.
That's right. Cosplayers, they know what's up. Like, you
they're
can't
not
wear
trying
just
to-
anything on any part of you. You want to
Right.
show your outfit.
Exactly. So maybe there's a way that they can maybe make a color code or have it on a bracelet because bracelets are kind of, but yeah, I did ask, because I was like, wait a second, I can't see their pronoun.
Right.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
So
We have to put our creative hats on, folks. Let's think of some good ways to have signage on a cosplayer that doesn't take away from their look.
yeah.
And there are also spaces that happen to be quiet,
Right.
where you can speak to people. We came across another room that was dedicated to cosplayers, where we were able to, if we wanted to, interview the cosplayers. And then there was a corner where there was a table with a sewing machine and other kits and tools and stuff that cosplayers can go to repair their costumes, which I thought was so kick-ass. I haven't seen that anywhere else except for BlerdCon. But that's it. So I guess this is a trend and it's here to stay. Good job, guys.
So I'm Mickey T.
And I'm Mickey B.
And thank you for joining us for this episode of Wandering Blerds.
Definitely catch more episodes from us on the Wandering Blerds podcast. You can catch us on YouTube. Check out our amazing pictures from our resident photographer, Mickey T. He's also the co-host who's sitting across from me. We're on Facebook as well. So chat with us. Send us an email at wanderingblurds@gmail.com. Let us know where you're traveling to. And actually, we kind of want to see your faces. We kind of want to see who our listeners are. So if you have the time, take a video of yourself, a little video selfie, and let us know where the best place you've traveled to was, or
where have you wandered?
Where have you wandered as a blurred or nerd or whoever, and or where you would love to go to. Yeah, and fill us in.
Yes. And maybe, just maybe, we will do a show featuring your favorite spots.
That's right.
So join us next Tuesday when we'll be wandering to Battle Creek, Michigan.